This camera's dirty again. So this I've has nothing to do with RC, kind of in a way. It does have to do with my Samsung Chef Collection, inverter, cooktop, duo, stove, whatever, oven. It's not mine, it's my wife's. So today on What's Up Guy Garage, not RC Guy Garage, yeah, sometimes it's the most basic of, what do I call it? The most basic of basics that gets overlooked. So, like the description says, I feel like I've gone to the end of the earth trying to figure out what is going on with this Samsung cooktop, right? So it's an induction cooktop. So what that means is it uses the power of magnetism to heat up your pan. So obviously it has to be a magnetic pan, but whatever. Not that that matters. But how does this, how could this translate over into maybe circuit repair, or let's just say like something like an ESC? Well, an ESC has a circuit board, right? And on some of these larger ones, they have a good amount of current flowing through them. Now, over time, maybe if, let's just say, the joint from the factory wasn't, perfect, which we know. We know stuff like that, has the potential of not being perfect. So I have, I gone, all right, so here's the backstory. There's actually a video coming out, believe it or not, which is nuts. And it's a series of me shaking my head, doing the whole everything, like, what's going on, throwing my hands up in the air and almost wanting to be done with it. But this stove was like a couple grand. So I couldn't give up. And that's just how I am. Now, I have replaced 3 circuit boards right now in this thing because well, actually, no. How do I backtrack on that? Technically, I replaced 2 circuit boards. Today, I just literally replaced a board just because I was getting frustrated. And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to take that circuit board that was the wrong one, and I'm just going to jam it in here and see what happens. So I jammed it in there and nothing happened. So, yeah, I'm just kind of like explaining like a little thing here. Now, I don't even know if anybody's here. This has nothing to do with RC, but it kind of does tie in. It only ties into, let's just say you've got an ESC that potentially, maybe you think burned out or whatever. If the company's not going to warranty the ESC, then what you should do is you should crack the thing open and check the circuit board. Like, teach yourself. There's tons of videos out there on YouTube that can help. There are videos out there too that are absolute garbage, like when we're talking about Zot Pop batteries, you know what I mean? But anyways, I just gotta show you. I'm gonna fix it. I'm actually gonna fix it like live. I just gotta get my soldering iron. Gonna use my soldering gun. Obviously gonna use paste, just to kind of make the solder flow better. And I'm gonna reflow a connection point that is literally like, when you look at this board, this is literally, it's an end point connection, meaning it's, just wait till you see. I don't even know if anybody's here. I just think this is funny. It's funny, but it's not. Because I thought I was going to lose my mind today on this. So this is the circuit board, right? So let's just pretend this was like an ESC, just a massive ESC, okay? The only reason why I'm talking about that is all of these components do something, okay? Some of them are switches, some of them are ways of power, like when you, obviously these are fuses right here. These are obviously your power feed junction blocks. These sections right here obviously go out to the inverter boards. These are the electronic pieces. Actually, no, that's actually... that's a power out feed itself. This actually feeds power or monitors the situation that's going on here. So I flipped over the board, right? And I'm looking at it in the sunlight because sometimes that's the best way to look at it, right? I'm going to shut off. Maybe there's a light that's like bugging. It's this one. I'm going to shut that off so maybe you can see better. And I'm focus in, right? So obviously I'm checking connection points, and I did this in the sunlight so that I could like see, because sometimes when you have something that's failed, like especially when it's a high current situation, something like electronic, board, whatever, that's failed, what you'll see like this very faint, well, not all the times, but sometimes you'll see this very faint, like white haze. And what that means is that that area was burning ever so slightly, but it was burning. So I started trying to see if I could see anything like that. I had already checked all the other circuit boards. You flip them over, because the green side is usually what's going to show like your issues. A lot of times you're not going to see anything on this side because these are where the components are. But if it failed on the circuit board side, this is obviously, the side that you check. And that's just the way that I've always done it. You can do a visual inspection here, but usually here is when you find where you find the issue. And that's where I found the issue. Because a lot of these parts basically cover over where they actually connect to the PC board from the back side. So this would actually work for an ESC, like I'm saying, right? So riff to the raff. I actually like saying riff to the raff, man. I hope you don't mind. It's I don't know. I think it's cool. Riff to the raff. All right. So I'm gonna just key in on this board. So like I said, pretend this is just a map ESC, okay? So I obviously, got a tester out, and I'm checking all of these, connection points, connecting, all these little trails, all these little copper trails that are under here that, this is where all your components attach to on this side, okay? And like each little section's got a blob of solder. And this is sometimes how an ESC blows out, and people just don't realize it. That if they don't want to warranty it, it's already junk. Pull it apart and see if you can fix it yourself. So I'm following the trail, and the way I start off with is I'm checking for, I forget what it's called. It's called something, but right now it's slipping my mind. But basically, you're checking continuity, I think, between the connections, making sure that the circuit is pretty much flowing. Okay, so in between, like each one of these jumps, you should still have power, depending upon how obviously this is all hooked up. All right, so you could probably already see it already, because now I can obviously see it because my eyes are focusing on it. So we'll look at that one, right? These ones right here. See how these ones look? See how these ones look nice? Where am I even focused here? I don't even know where I'm focused. Right there. See how that just has a nice flow to it? That's what the soldered joint is supposed to look like. Like I said, pretend this is an ESC. So you follow and trace and go along, and this is what's great about having these phones, right? Because you can check stuff. I'm looking at that one, right? Wherever that one is, right there. I'm like, yeah, that looks all right. Doesn't look exactly like that, but it's also a different type of connection. So what you're seeing, this flat section right here versus that little pinpoint right there, that's a pinpoint one that goes through the board. This is more of a flat piece that comes through the board and gets soldered like that. Come down here. Yep, that one looks fine. That looks fine. Moving over here, same thing. I know I'm dragging this out, but I'm having fun because I'm actually excited. Now, I got to here, okay? And I started thinking to myself, okay, now this is ground. Now, you do see a white haze. So I started like scratching at it, seeing if it was, an issue. And I think I realized what it was this was just some type of like a cheap, easy throw on, just sealing paste, okay? So then I'm following the board. Where am I here? And then I get to that right there. Now, I'm looking at this with my bare eyes, right? That looks terrible. But you can see what happened. So I'm looking at this in the sunlight. Now, what you might not be able to see, or maybe you can, see how there's a white haze, like all around this whole section? Well, that white haze actually branches out all the way around this whole section right here, okay? So That made me go, holy crap, I think I just found the spot, but I can't see it because, well, this right here, that's what you're looking at. So you can't see it like I want to say with the naked eye. But I grabbed my phone and I just zoomed in on it and I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. That right there is literally the whole issue with the inverter side of that cooktop. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to flow some more or jam some more flux into this area, and I'm going to what's called reflow the joint. And I'm just going to do it like right on live because I know there's actually been a couple people that like asking me, hey, how's the stove going? So here's your answer. This is how the stove is going right now. So I've never done it like this before. So hopefully this is actually going to work. But that's obviously, like I said, I'm just trying to translate this over to an ESC or some type of electronic something. If they won't warranty it, blow it apart and see if you can fix it yourself. So that's literally, I already know 100% that's the issue. And if it's not the issue, I'm just going to throw the whole stove out in the trash. But I know that's the issue. So I'm just going to use my massive Weller soldering gun. I know it's like majorly zoomed in, but I want to show you, how this gets done. In case you don't know, all this stuff is easy. It's just sometimes it can be a pain in the neck trying to find the issue. And nothing on any of the schematics or anything, even like the diagnostics that they give the parts guy, not the parts guy, but the repair guy, nothing pointed to this right here. That was literally just call it an Easter egg find or something. So I'm going to use some of this stuff right here. I do have a rosin core solder, but what I like to do is actually take a little bit of paste, and I'm going to take a little bit of paste and I'm going to jam it into that hole right there. And what that will do is help the solder flow like completely onto that joint, okay? So I take my paste and I'm just going to smear it just like that, okay? Doesn't have to be a massive amount. I know it looks like it's a massive amount, but it's what you need, all right? So now I need a paper towel. I'm just excited that I just fixed our stove by maybe taking a little bit more time and investigating the issue. Now, this might not be the best soldering iron to use for this project. So now I'm going to heat up the soldering gun. I'm going to heat up the soldering iron. And it does help if you have a clean tip. I have no way to clean the tip right now. So I'm going to now take this as it's heating up, and I'm going to dip it into my paste. Boom. Here, look at that, see? Smoke. Yeah, you probably couldn't see that. Here, it just looks cool. Boom. Just to kind of clean that off, and I'm going to use a paper towel and clean off that tip. All right? Just like this. Just going to clean off the tip. I'm going to put a little bit of solder just on the tip of the soldering iron, just so it concentrates the heat in that area. Now I'm going to light this joint up by going like that. I'm going to light the joint up. Of course it's not. Of course it's not working. There we go. I got to put a little bit more on. The stupid camera is actually in my face, so it's in the way. But this is the basic idea of what you got to do. Come on. Stop giving me such a hard time. See, now that I go to do this, my soldering iron is being a pill. Come on. Heat up.
I'll put a little touch of more paste on there. Just a little bit right there. So it flows into the joint. That's not working like I wanted it to. Come on, get on there. There we go. That's a little better. Come on. Stop annoying me. Now, I'm going to clean it up real quick. Oh, I'm not even on camera. Dang it. Figures. Probably be better if I used a good soldering gun for this. But right now, this is all I got. Of course, it's going to be a pill for me right now, as I'm trying to show you how to fix it. Well, either way, right like that, it finally flowed into the joint. I'll show you what it looks like. Again, this is just my repair, but it's not the prettiest joint, but pretty much now that is repaired. So, yeah. That was literally the issue this whole dang time, was this little blown out piece right here, and now it's fixed. So it might not look like, you know, the factory one that's right here, but it's close enough. So anyways, there you go. There's my update to my stove. People wondering, like, if I was going to get back to it. People wondering if it was fixed. It's fixed now. So now I guess I can continue the repair video on the Samsung Chef Collection. I think I should figure out something else for a soldering gun, because that kind of does, it kind of is a pain. It would be nice to have one of those pen ones. Doing circuit boards is definitely a heck of a lot better if you can have one of those nice soldering stations, but we'll work on that at some other point. But anyways, hopefully you like this live episode of me being happy. I got a smile on my face, and it wasn't an RC that did it, because it's not, life isn't all about RCs, man. You know what I mean? I get out there, work on my car, work on Big Black, brings a smile to my face, do a burnout in my truck, brings a smile to my face, try to do a burnout in Drag Bug, it fails, still brings a smile to my face. You know what I mean? So I guess what I'm saying is, use what you just saw. Use that on an ESC. Check the circuit board. And like I said, that's after, if they don't warranty it, or you think you're going to toss it or whatever. Because I know some of these Traxxas ones end up with issues. So don't be afraid to crack it open and get a look at the back side of that board to see if there's some issue that maybe you could potentially fix. And like I said, it's only going to teach you to be better at not only the hobby, but better at other things, like other repairs. You know, take that knowledge and use it elsewhere. So anyways, I don't know. Like I always say, I know there's probably not a lot of people on this, but I'm gonna check in right now just to see who actually like hung out and was like, "Hey, what's going on, guy?" Because I am curious. Who is here? I'm gonna end that. They literally just get the camera. Hey, look at that. All right, who's even here?
Hey, look at that.
Hey, we got 7 people. You kidding me?
Hey, we got 7 people.
Whoa.
Are you kidding me?
Larry Mitchell, guy, what is happening? Riff to the Raff is here. I knew you were here. Michael Dyke, Mets RC, holy smokes. Casey Benson, dude, I'm working in the X-Max, nice. Larry Mitchell trying to load up out to Facebook, but going super, right. You should, Gus's Custom was trying to load a video for 2 days, man. I think he was probably losing his mind. RC Guy, what's going on, Guy? Ordered your Komodo. Oh, nice, dude. Double cap, nice. Nice. That is cool, man. Riff to the Raff. Had a hell of a time finding what is it? 1080 ESC, but should have it in a couple weeks. Nice, man. Not getting good heat. It's the connection. So obviously over time, you know that those little Allen wrench connections need to be tightened up in order to flow electricity through that piece of metal right there to heat it up nice. I got to clean the tip too. That will probably help. But I definitely need to figure out a better soldering station. So, Larry, Guy, why don't you post up a thing on the Facebook group and go, what kind of soldering stations are you guys running? Like, I know that there are people out there that, you know, have some probably pretty good stuff, and it would be kind of cool to actually get, like, I want to see, like, what do people have for soldering stations, man? I've always used just the Rat Shack pen, or like that right there, my Weller. You know, I've blown through a couple of those things, man. I always burn them out. So I do stuff to them again that you're not supposed to do. But anyways. RC Daniel, what's going on, Guy? You're here for the stove repair video. The stove repair live. I can't believe there's actually 8 people here. You guys out of your mind? This is just about a damn circuit board. But use the knowledge. Use the knowledge for your for ESCs. It should be fine. I'm gonna give it like a torture test and just to make sure that it's all set, but it looks like it's all right. It didn't flow exactly like I had hoped, but it's good enough. I burned my drill circuit board by plugging the wrong charger in. Oh, that's no good. Right. It has both a hot air and iron. Yeah, that's cool. Hey, babe. Yeah?
I can't do nothing.
Well, all right. I gotta go put the stove back together so she can actually make.
I don't know what you expect.
Nothing. I'll put it back together now. All right, I'm out of here. I just wanted to do a quick live video check-in just to say, hey, the stove is going to be repaired in minutes. Now I just got to put the thing back together. It's like 600 screws to put it back together. So, all right, I'm out. Everybody, thanks for coming to this live stream. I don't even know what I called it. Samsung Chef Collection Verta Cooktop issue resolved. Yeah, see right there. Resolved. Oh, resolved.
It's delayed.
Resolved. All right, I'm out of here. See you guys later.